K.A. Bullet's footballing channel.
Hurry up, tell me why I'm here.
VfL Wolfsburg, for the longest time, have played in the Bundesliga. They've played in this division since 1997, and during their stay in the Bundesliga, they were able to win the 2008-2009 Bundesliga title, as well as the 2014-15 DFB Pokal, and also won the DFL Supercup against Bayern Munich in 2015. In many seasons, they played European football, and have also had many famous players like Kevin De Bruyne and Edin Dzeko play for this club. But now, the club has a new challenge, as for the first time in their history, they have been relegated from the Bundesliga, a league that they've been playing in since 1997. They got relegated by losing the relegation playoff against SC Paderborn. That means that next season, VfL Wolfsburg will be playing their football in the second Bundesliga, where revenues will be lower. But due to Germany's 50+1 rule when it comes to football clubs, means that this relegation won't hurt as much financially. But not every player will want to play for a second-tier club. So in this video, I'll be discussing who I think will stay and leave VfL Wolfsburg going into next season. Here's the first team where probably a lot of players will want to leave. Yeah, there's still more players in the first team. And now here are the players that got loaned out this season, at the very least for the second half of the season. And also, I couldn't really find a comprehensive Wikipedia page to show the youth team or reserve team. Now for the manager, Tobias Strobel. He will be staying as he just took the VfL Wolfsburg job. He wasn't in charge for that relegation playoff match. Now, onto the team, where first I'll be mentioning the goalkeepers. There's quite a few of them at VfL Wolfsburg, including Kamil Grabara. He will probably leave as he can probably find a better club to sign him and have a chance at saving his Poland career. Club Brugge is interested in his signature. Now on to Marius Möller. As a backup goalkeeper who has played lower league football before, I think he will stay and become the first choice goalkeeper in the second Bundesliga. Now on to Jakub Zielinski. He's a young goalkeeper who wouldn't have any interest from other clubs, so he's staying put at VfL Wolfsburg. And next is Pavel Pervan. Although he's an aging player, I can see him staying as he has 1 year left on his deal and won't really have any offers to leave. Now on to the defenders, where there's a decent number of defenders at the club, starting with Konstantinos Koliarakis. His potential is much greater than the second Bundesliga. I can see another club signing him and rescuing him from relegation. That means he's probably leaving for a better team. Now on to Januel Belosian. He was on loan from Bayer Leverkusen and will go back there at the end of his loan deal, so he's leaving. Now on to Jonas Ajite. He will probably want to leave to continue his Ghana career as he doesn't have very many caps yet. I say he will leave as his potential is too great for him to play in the second Bundesliga. Now on to Dennis Vavro. I say that he'll leave and move to another club. Not the best club, but if there is interest for other clubs to sign him, who will be able to promise top-flight football, or to Wolves, Wolverhampton Wanderers in the Championship, who are reportedly interested in the winter transfer window. Now on to Jensen Selt. He will go back to Sunderland following the end of his loan deal, and he would hope that he can get game time there. Now on to Moritz Jens. Due to lack of interest ever since last summer, I can see him staying at the club and will get more game time in the second Bundesliga. Now on to Clayton. He will stay as no other clubs will want to sign him as he's been injured for all of the second half of the season and wasn't the biggest name to begin with. Previously, he was just a squad player for Flamengo. Clayton will stay as other teams won't want to sign him. It's also unknown how much he will contribute to the second Bundesliga campaign as he's never even played a match for VfL Wolfsburg. Now on to Joachim Mähle. He will leave to continue his Denmark career, as I don't think that Denmark is interested in calling up any players in the second tier of any league. And also, there's already rumors of him getting a move away. Now on to Aaron Zenter. I can see him leaving due to his potential being too great for me to see him wanting to stay and play second tier football, the second Bundesliga. Now on to Rogerio. With the relegation and potential interest from Internacional, he might want to leave, but he's injured right now, so I'm going to say that it's a toss-up if Rogerio stays or leaves VfL Wolfsburg over the summer. And now onto Sal Kumbedi. With his talent, I don't see him staying at Wolfsburg as he is too good for the second Bundesliga. So, he will leave and join a club playing top-flight football. Now onto Kilian Fischer. I don't see him leaving as he's injured, but with Sal Kumbedi leaving, his return to fitness means that the starting right-back spot will be his, and I can see him staying for these reasons. Now onto Jan Berger. I think that he will leave as his contract is done, although the club could of course renew his contract. Now, onto the midfielders, where there's quite a few of them at the club right now. Starting with Vinicius Souza. He will leave and likely go back to Brazil as Atlético Mineiro is interested in signing him. And that move would be easier than before as Souza's transfer value has dropped. I don't think he will want to stick around, not only for the transfer rumors, but don't forget, he's gotten relegated before with Sheffield United. Now on to Matthias Svanberg. He made the Sweden squad for the World Cup. I don't think he'll be sticking around in the second Bundesliga. Another club will sign him this summer. Now, on to Maximilian Arnold. He is a one-club man at Wolfsburg. I think he will stick around and captain his club in their attempt to get back to the Bundesliga again. He has over 400 appearances for this team. I don't think he's going to leave just because they got relegated. Now on to Farrell Hensel. He will stay so he can try to get more game time for the club in the second tier. Now, Yannick Gerhardt. I can see him staying too as he is a local player for Wolfsburg after joining the club almost 10 years ago and making almost 300 appearances for them in all competitions. There are also transfer rumors. Not all of them can result in a transfer, but I'm saying that Yannick Gerhardt is currently a toss-up over if he stays or leaves the club. Now on to Kevin Paredes. His contract expires at the end of the season, so he'll probably leave, unless if the club, of course, renews his deal. Now on to Lovro Majer. Although he didn't make Croatia's World Cup squad, he will want to rescue his international career, and Croatia are above the level of capping from the German second tier. So he will want a move away for this reason. Majer is not staying at Wolfsburg after the end of this season. Now on to Bence Dardai. He won't need to worry a lot about his Hungary career as many of Hungary's players play at a similar level in terms of talent to the top part of the second Bundesliga. But as a player, he has better potential than to play in the second Bundesliga. He's probably going to leave Wolfsburg, most likely for a side playing Bundesliga football next season. Now, Christian Eriksen. Probably the most famous player in this team right now. But he probably doesn't want to spend the end of his career in the second tier of any league. But after what happened to him in Euro 2020, in the opening match, and also what happened to him yesterday in a friendly against Ukraine, he's grateful that he's still able to play football. He will leave if an offer comes in for him. So I'll say, for Christian Eriksen, it's a toss-up right now. But for right now, he should focus on getting better. Good thing he doesn't have to play a World Cup with Denmark. We can't risk Christian Eriksen collapsing on the pitch again. Now onto the forwards, where there are also quite a few forwards. Starting with Patrick Wimmer. He made the Austria squad for the World Cup, so he'll probably be able to find a move away. Borussia Dortmund's interested in his signature, and playing in the second Bundesliga can't be good for his international career, so he'll probably leave. Now for Adam Dahim. He's on loan from Red Bull Salzburg, and he will go back there upon the end of his loan deal. Now for Jesper Lundstrom. Once again, he's on loan, but from Napoli instead, and he will go back there upon the end of his loan deal. Now for Wolfsburg's primary striker this season, Mohamed Amora. He's Algeria's first choice striker at the moment, and there's already rumors of his departure, so he'll be able to get a move away and leave Wolfsburg. And don't forget, he's at the World Cup with Algeria. Doing well in the World Cup could result in a much better team going after a signature. Now on to Jenan Pecinovic. He has no recent transfer interest, but with the departures of other players, he might want to be able to start for Wolfsburg. So I'm saying he will probably stay. Now, on to Kento Shiogai. With transfer rumors and his potential being too great to be playing second-tier football, I think that he will leave the club. After all, he made the Japan squad for the World Cup. He is not staying to play in the second tier. Now, on to Jonas Wind. He will leave at the end of his contract, and probably wouldn't want to play in the second Bundesliga anyways. So he'll probably leave and join another club of a similar size playing in a top division. Now, on to the loan players. Some of them might be important next season. Firstly, there's Mathis Angeli. As a player who was sent out on loan, and realizing that his parent club just got relegated, he might think that he has a chance to get some more game time, and will stay and try to become a bigger part of the team in the second Bundesliga. Now on to Nicolas Koza. Both his parent and loan club both got relegated this season, but his deal at Wolfsburg also expires at the end of the season, so he'll be looking for a new club. Although he's not that good of a player, his next club won't be as good, but he'll probably get regular game time at his next club. Now on to Bartosz Franic. He's another player whose contract is expiring and is at the level of the second Bundesliga. He will leave and join another club on a free transfer. Now on to Astor Vranckx. He will probably leave as he might be able to find a club playing in the top division to play for next season. Now on to Eric Grishvash. Sorry if I couldn't pronounce your name correctly. But his contract expires at the end of the season, so he'll be leaving on a free transfer. The club could of course renew his contract if player and club agree. Now on to Andreas Skov Olsen. He's a Denmark international. He won't want to stay at a club that will be playing second Bundesliga football next season, so he will be leaving. I've said earlier in this video, Denmark will not be calling up players playing in the second Bundesliga. Now onto Jakub Kaminski. His talent is too great for the second tier and will be able to find a move away to play in a top division. Now for the reserve team. Wikipedia didn't have an up-to-date version for this team, so all the players I could find were on Transfermarkt. And also, Germany's model's like Spain, where the reserve team does play in the national pyramid, but just at a lower level. Now, here's Ole Brammer. I think he will stay and try to become part of the first team squad. With a lack of right backs, he might see a chance to get himself some game time next season. Same with Philipp Licht. He will also stay and try to become part of the first team squad. With reduced squad depth, he'll probably get game time next season. Same with Trevor Hint. He will also stay and try to become part of the first team squad as well. If he does well enough, Estonia might call him up to the national team. Not like Marko Manditi though. I don't think Hungary will be calling him up, but Marko will stay and try to become part of the first team squad next season as well. Same with Bruno Katz. He will also stay and try to become part of the first team squad. Due to the lower squad depth, he might be able to get some game time on the wing. Same with Isaiah Seretis, who I also think will be able to play on the wing next season for VfL Wolfsburg in the second tier. Now onto Karl Anton Sticherling. Wolfsburg will need some squad depth up front, and he is a good choice to become the second choice striker next season. I mean, I did say all but one of the first team strikers would be leaving. VfL Wolfsburg had been in the Bundesliga for 29 years, the longest out of any of the clubs that I have discussed on the channel so far. Wolfsburg is also one of the richer teams in Germany due to Volkswagen being the owners of the club. For this reason, rebuilding won't be as hard as it would be for other clubs. Of course, all relegated teams have a loss of revenue and see star players leave. But the nature of German football encourages good scouting, so if Wolfsburg can make some new signings, then they succeed. Although they might not have the most money for signings, the club isn't in financial trouble like Leicester City and West Ham. Even if they stick with their previous players and youth teams players, then like Schalke this season, they should be able to return to the Bundesliga quickly.
Press the like button down below if you like this video, and subscribe to this channel if you want to watch more videos like this one.
Finally! This is the last video that I'll be discussing the fate of relegated teams. The other teams that got relegated from Europe's top 5 leagues this season, I don't think it's worth me discussing who will stay or leave those clubs. This series is not for yo-yo teams. This series is for bigger clubs who would not normally get relegated. I'm not sure when I'll make my next video, because I'm probably not going to make content for every single World Cup match. Unfortunately, the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine is still going on, and the Ukrainian people are still suffering due to the consequences of this war. The Ukrainian people just want to live in peace and have freedom, but this common dream was ruined by the tyrant and bully, Vladimir Putin, who began this unjustified war over 4 years ago, giving the order to Russian soldiers to invade Ukraine. I here on the K.A. Bullets footballing channel stand with Ukraine in their struggle against Vladimir Putin's tyranny
and recognize Ukraine's true borders as shown by this map, which includes Crimea, the Donbass, and all of the Kharkiv, Zaporizhia, and Kherson oblasts.
Слава Україні! Героям слава! Нехай швидше дарується Україні перемога! Glory to Ukraine! Glory to the heroes! May Ukraine be granted victory very soon.
What's even worse is that the Ukraine war is not the only international war going on right now. There's another one going on, where there's another authoritarian leader trying to keep his people down, and that's why I support